So people have been sending me email that they're waiting on this Maiden Day video. Between a long string of wet weather and just being busy, this got put off a few times. I was still sewing wing bags at 4:30 this morning, and in this shot, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. This Maiden Day might be a little subdued. This is the Maiden Takeoff, and when it left the ground, I was pretty surprised. I'm always ready to grab a whole bunch of trim on a maiden flight, but this time it didn't need anything, not a click. Of course, perfection in a brand new airplane makes me a little bit suspicious. I got in 3 flights, each roughly 4.5 minutes long, and never did have to add any trim. And for those following my solo shot saga along, this is video shot with the Solo Shot 3 Plus. Starting the next time I take this plane out, I'm going to start making a few little adjustments to the solo shot to see if we can't get it tracking a little better. As I always do on trim flights, as soon as I realized it didn't need any trim, I started shooting landing approaches. And like every Flex Innovations plane I had, it lands easily. The grass on our runway right now is almost as tall as the tires themselves, but the new motor in the G2 had no problem jerking this thing out of the grass. This motor also seems to be pretty easy on the batteries. In a 4.5 minute flight, it still had right around 47% of battery capacity left out of a 5,000 milliamp battery. Another common feature of Flex Innovations planes, and certainly with this one, is that the rudder is not overly sensitive. It's very effective, but it's not sensitive. When I go power off, like approaching the field, the nose tended to drop just a little bit. It's very manageable, and I like it that way, so I'm going to leave it. I set the CG per the manual, and I'm going to leave it there for now at least. This is the second flight on Maiden Day, and we did a few snap rolls and some spins and just see how the plane recovered. I also tried using the rudder more extensively, and again, the plane just likes the rudder, doesn't do anything bad. I like using the rudder to correct the alignment with the runway on landing rather than use the ailerons. I found with this cap that if I just hold a little bit of rudder, it just slides around very gently, no problems at all. The cap really doesn't seem to care how I approach the runway. I can use a rudder to correct the alignment, and the cap doesn't do anything funny at all. It just slides around nice and lines up. Some of the approaches from the right are actually a little downwind, but the cap just remained very steady. Whenever I bring a new plane to the field, the guys I fly with are waiting for me to do a snap roll someplace on takeoff. I always start off doing those snap rolls pretty high up, but as I get used to the airplane, especially something like this cap, those will get a lot lower to the ground. This is the third and final flight on Maiden Day, and I'm already getting pretty comfortable with this plane. I know I'm going to make the rudder a little more effective, but I think I'm going to leave everything else alone for the time being and just spend some time getting used to the plane. Inverted flight also feels very solid with this cap. I'd like to be holding a little bit of down elevator to have an inverted plane fly straight and level, but that's all the cap needs. So stay tuned. As soon as we can get back to the field, we'll get some more video for you and see how far we can take this cap. The G2 cap is a fun, everyday flyer, and I'll use any excuse I have to get out to the field with it.